Howdy folks, hope you all had a good weekend, and welcome to the last episode of Mingles with Jingles of 2018. Normal service around here is going to be suspended on the 12th, that's the day I fly out to the Czech Republic, unofficially, for a little bit of a Christmas break. Going to be taking a couple of... I talked about all this in last week's episode of Mingles with Jingles, but hey, just in case, going to be taking a couple of days for myself to explore Prague. But the official reason for why we're heading out to Prague this week is for the Shipstorm tournament, which is going to be, well, the finals of which are going to be broadcast from the World of Warships office in Prague over Saturday and Sunday. It's an interesting tournament, by the way. I don't know if you've seen the details. It's a 3 versus 3 15-minute World of Warships elimination contest. Up to 256 teams taking part. 3 ships per team. 2 Tier 7s, 1 Tier 8. Each team is allowed 1 destroyer, 1 cruiser, and 1 battleship. But the choice of which one of those 3 ships is going to be the Tier 8 is entirely up to you. So if you pick a Tier 8 battleship, then the cruiser and destroyer must be Tier 7, and so on and so on. Interesting format. Very much looking forward to broadcasting it. And hopefully, plenty of you guys are going to be tuning in as well. There is still time to sign up for this tournament, by the way, although there's not long left. Registration's closed today, but there are both EU and North American sign-ups, and the prizes that are available. Well, the cool thing about Shipstorm is that providing you at least play all of your available matches, even if you don't win any of them and advance to the next stage, there are prizes. There can be anything up to 256 teams taking part in the Shipstorm tournament, and not all of those spots have been claimed. And providing you just complete all of your group stage matches, even if you don't win any of them, every member of your team will receive 4 Secret Santa crates. Oh, and I think a commemorative flag that you can fly from your ships in World of Warships as well. Since we're here, I may as well read you all of the prizes available. So teams that just take part, 4 Secret Santa crates and a flag. Teams which finish anything between 33rd and 64th overall, every member receives 8,000 coal. 17th to 32nd place ranking teams, 16,000 coal. Teams which finish 5th to 16th place, so teams that have advanced to stage 2 of the tournament, 40 camo skins and 16,000 coal. Team that finishes 4th, 20,000 coal, 4,000 gold, and a Tier 5 premium ship of your choice. 3rd place team members receive 20,000 coal, 4,000 gold, a Tier 6 premium ship of your choice, and a World of Warships t-shirt. The team that finishes 2nd overall, 20,000 coal, 4,000 gold, a Tier 7 premium ship of your choice, and a World of Warships hoodie. And for the team that finishes in 1st place, each member will receive 40,000 coal, 8,000 gold, a Tier 8 premium ship of their choice, a Razor Kraken headset, and a $120 cash prize. So it's not bad for a day's work. So, that's the Shipstorm tournament, taking place this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I'll be broadcasting from Prague. If you're interested, and it's not that difficult to get a team together, you only have to find 2 friends, although you are also allowed to have a substitute, so teams can be anything between 3 and 4 players. Link down below in the video description to the sign-ups. Good luck. And if you can't get a team together, or you're on the Asian server, sorry, you guys are the red-headed stepchild of World of Warships again. You can at least watch. It's going to be broadcast. Actually, I'm not entirely sure where it's going to be broadcast from, but I'm assuming the World of Warships global Twitch and YouTube channels. And given that people like Isolate and Flambass are going to be hosting it with me, you never know, maybe they will also be streaming it too. But I'm sure that they're going to be announcing the news on the World of Warships portal, so keep an eye open there. Next up. What exactly am I going to be getting up to over my Christmas break? Well, I had high hopes, actually. I was looking forward to a good couple of weeks of just kicking back, relaxing, catching up on some of my TV shows, and playing some good games. Well, the TV shows aren't going to be a problem. But as far as gaming is concerned, it's looking a bit grim this Christmas. I had all kinds of high hopes for a couple of games in particular. I've still got Horizon Zero Dawn to play through, although I'm a fair way through the storyline. It's probably not going to take me that long to actually finish the story, although it's an open world game, so I can still keep playing, going around, completing all of the side quests and challenges and achievements that I missed because I'm in, a rush to see where the story leads. So there's that, I suppose. But there's all kinds of, well, games that I had high hopes for on the PC this Christmas that just either haven't materialised or were really disappointing, disastrous, bug-ridden messes. Fallout 76, I am mostly looking at you here. Yeah, I know, maybe I shouldn't have been surprised. I mean, I had very high hopes for Fallout 76. I mean, I've loved all of the previous Fallout games, and I do mean all of them, going all the way back to the original Fallout. And yet, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have been surprised. Fallout 4 was a fairly buggy mess, but I enjoyed it anyway. I got well into the story, and there was an unofficial mod where the community patched almost all of the more serious bugs in Fallout 4. They did this years ago. So why are all of those bugs still? Yep, still in Fallout 76. It's a mark of just how big a lazy asset flip Fallout 76 has been for Bethesda. That there are 4-year-old bugs that were patched out of Fallout 4 by the community that are still in Fallout 76. They just haven't tried at all, have they? Let's just go through the list, shall we? Live from Reddit, bugs still present in Fallout 76 that community modders already fixed years ago in Fallout 4. Stuttering due to movement speed being too fast for the game engine. It's actually worse now. Yep, worse in Fallout 76 than it was in Fallout 4 4 years ago. Lever action rifles reload all bullets in the magazine, even if you only fired one. Still no widescreen support. Incorrect texture layers, which cause distant screen flickering. Movement speed variations from first to third person. Yeah, if you're running along at full speed in first person camera and you suddenly decide to switch to third person camera, stand by for your movement speed to suddenly, and for no good reason whatsoever, slow down by anything up to 50%. That bug is still there. When you reload the game, it can randomly switch the camera between first and third person. Light bulbs don't actually work, they don't light anything up. There are wrong lens flare alpha settings. You can get stuck when you're using a terminal. Stuck in the terminal, you can't exit it. Fantastic stuff. Incorrectly compressed shadow effects. Power armor models that clip through the landscape. All kinds of good stuff. Now these are just the bugs that were present in Fallout 4, which are still present in Fallout 76. That's not all, of course. Oh no, Fallout 76 introduced a whole bunch of new bugs as well. And then just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, Bethesda introduced a whole bunch of features that are technically not bugs. They work like bugs, but it is in fact Fallout 76 working exactly as Bethesda intended, like the respawn timers on hostile NPCs in fact. They'll often start respawning while you're still fighting them. Clear a town of bad guys, pop inside one of the buildings, hack a terminal, step outside, bad guys have respawned. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, this is Fallout 76 when it's not bugged, broken, and when it is in fact working as intended. How did it all go so horribly, horribly wrong? But wait, there's more. We haven't even yet discussed exactly how much this is costing you. I'm currently browsing a website looking at the pre-order price of Fallout 76. So before it was available, which isn't that long ago. The game's only been out about a month. So, looking at the various different pre-order editions of Fallout 76, the cheapest price in the UK for the PS4 and Xbox One that anybody could find for a pre-order of Fallout 76 was £43.85. Now, if you were on the PC, things were looking slightly better, potentially at least. cdkeys.com were offering a key for Fallout 76 pre-order for a 42% discount. Now remember that, 42% off the original pre-order asking price for a standard edition copy of Fallout 76, not even a month ago. The game was released on the 14th of November. That price was £32, or £31.99. So yeah, £32. Fast forward a little over 4 weeks, how much are they charging for Fallout 76 now? Remember, the recommended retail price when this game first came out was $60 in the US, and I think it was £50 here in the UK. I'm currently looking at a website called idlo.co.uk, and they're offering the Xbox One edition for £27 and the PlayStation edition for £25. That's a 50% price drop in less than a month. Actually, it might be more than a 50% price drop, because in the length of time that I've been looking at this web page, they're actually offering me the option to buy it for less. They're asking me to make them an offer. It's like, please, we really need to shift these copies. Make us an offer. How much can you afford? That's how much Fallout 76 is going for today. How happy exactly do you think everybody is who pre-ordered this game at full price not even a month ago? Or who bought it in the first week after it went on release? They're probably not very happy. And there's not an awful lot they can do about it either, because that brings us on to the next subject for discussion, where Fallout 76 is concerned. Did you notice that Fallout 76 wasn't available for purchase on Steam? Why do you suppose that is? Steam are not completely without their faults, but they do have a pretty good refund policy. If you buy and download a game on Steam and you don't like it, providing you haven't played more than 2 hours, you can get it refunded. No questions asked, simple. Just request a refund, they give you your money back, or they put some money in your Steam wallet. The choice is up to you. Even if you've played it for more than 2 hours, you can still request a refund, and most of the time you'll probably still get it. Although, you know, if you put 500 hours into a game, you probably won't. But providing you're not taking the piss, you can generally get a refund for a game that you've bought on Steam, even if you've played it for more than 2 hours. Oh, but hang on, Fallout 76 was never sold over Steam, was it? Well, why is that? Well, if you believe Bethesda. Bethesda wanted to launch the game on their own servers, Bethesda.net, via the Bethesda game launcher, to ensure that there wasn't an extra layer of software between them. So, I'm sorry, I can't even say this with a straight face. Anyway, the important thing here, not on Steam, so no questions asked. Refund policy on Steam. What, in fact, is Bethesda's refund policy? You will be astounded to hear that if you play a game, or have downloaded a game, using Bethesda's software, which we pretty much all have, where Fallout 76 is concerned, the second you have downloaded that game, you are not eligible for a refund. And it took a while for people to find this out, because initially, when they hammered on the doors of Bethesda's game launcher demanding a refund for this bug-ridden, overpriced piece of shit asset flip, they were told, sit tight, customer support will get back to you. And eventually customer support did, and it said, nope. Could this be the reason why Fallout 76 wasn't available on Steam? Well, I don't know, but yeah, I think it probably was. But wait, there's even more. What about all of those suckers who bought the game's $200 Power Armor Edition, which apparently contained a canvas Fallout 76 duffel bag, amongst other things. Except it didn't contain a canvas Fallout 76 duffel bag. It contained a flimsy, thin, nylon Fallout 76 duffel bag. Now, very understandably, the people who had all overpaid and still not even got what they'd overpaid for were quite upset about this, but Bethesda offered to compensate them by crediting everybody affected by this with 500 atoms. What the hell are 500 atoms? Atoms are the game's microtransaction currency. Because, hey, what's a game these days without microtransactions, even if you've already overpaid full price for it? How much exactly are 500 atoms worth? About $5. What's the difference in value between a flimsy, cheap, nasty nylon duffel bag and a canvas duffel bag is $5, is it? No, it's not. That's right. Caught out, Bethesda weren't even compensating people for the actual value of what they'd swindled them out of. Well, this decision understandably met a bit of a backlash as well, so Bethesda changed course yet again. Bethesda notified everybody who had overpaid for a nylon bag when they were expecting to overpay for a canvas bag, that they should create a customer support ticket before the 31st of January 2019 at Bethesda.net's customer support site, listing, amongst other things, their email address, their home address, the date of purchase, the original price that they paid, and the place of purchase. And once all of those details had been submitted, upon processing of their customer support ticket, they would receive a canvas Fallout 76 duffel bag to replace their tatty Fallout 76 supermarket bag. But Bethesda couldn't even get this right. No, really. Because it turned out that everybody that created one of those customer support tickets, when you went to the Bethesda support site to check the status of your ticket, you couldn't just check the status of your ticket. You could check the status of everybody's tickets and see things like their email addresses, their home addresses, all of their personal information. So it's probably safe to say it's been a fairly bad month for Bethesda. If you go to Metacritic and you look at the Fallout 76 reviews, it has an average user score of 2.5. Based on 3,500 reviews, only 719 of which so far have been positive, 177 have been mixed, and 2,678 have been negative reviews. The price of their game has plummeted by 50% in a month. They have thousands of angry gamers banging on their doors demanding refunds for this bug-ridden piece of shit, which they're refusing, and which has led to the cherry on the cake of bad news, this month at least as far as Bethesda are concerned, because a California law firm is now investigating them for a class action lawsuit for PC users who downloaded the game, found it to be absolutely terrible and unplayable, and want their money back. So there is at least one spot of good news if you're a PC user and you've unfortunately paid full price for and downloaded Fallout 76. If you want your money back, check the link down below in the video description to the legal firm of Migliaccio and Rathod, LLP. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If you bought Fallout 76 on PC, wanted a refund and were denied one, or if you bought the Power Armor Edition and you received a nylon and not the canvas bag that you thought you were buying, check out the link down below. If Bethesda do end up being successfully sued or simply settle the matter out of court, it's likely to be the only way anybody is ever going to get value for money out of Fallout 76, even if they bought it for half price a month after the release date. So, Fallout 76, I am real glad I dodged that particular bullet. Because, yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I have played and enjoyed all of the Fallout games. I trusted Bethesda. Alright, stop laughing. I did, honestly. I trusted Bethesda. I have played and loved all of the Fallout games, up to and including Fallout 4. And yes, I know Fallout 4 was a fairly buggy mess. But I still enjoyed the story, I still enjoyed the characters, and it got patched. Well, okay, not by Bethesda, but it got patched by the community. It mostly ended up working as intended. And I've loved all of their other Fallout games, all the way back to the original Fallout in 1997. Wait, except that was Interplay. Bethesda had nothing to do with that. Okay, Fallout 2. Oh, hang on, that was Black Isle Studios. Bethesda had nothing to do with that. Fallout 3 was their first Fallout game. Well, I like Fallout 3 as well. And I've liked all of their other non-Fallout games. Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim, all the way back to Elder Scrolls Arena. Alright, their Terminator games weren't much good, but most of their single-player games I have really enjoyed playing. I trusted them. And I thought there was no way they were going to drop the ball with another Fallout game, especially since they were throwing multiplayer in. Oh, wait, hang on a minute, multiplayer? I must investigate this further. This is the reason, not because I didn't trust Bethesda, foolishly I did, but the only reason I didn't pre-order the game was because I had heard, turns out wrongly, because the player versus player in Fallout 76 is as bad as everything else, but I had heard that the servers were going to be PvP on, and so Fallout 76 was likely to be a sort of DayZ clone, or, you know, if you're in North America, DayZ. And that really doesn't float my boat. So I thought I'd pass and wait until private servers were available that you could run in co-op. And that's why I dodged the bullet where Fallout 76 was concerned. Rita didn't. Rita was streaming it from day one. And yet, she actually enjoys it. There are people out there who like playing Fallout 76. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. She doesn't claim it's a good game. Oh no. No, she's not stupid. She knows it's a terrible game. But she still enjoys playing it. And it's because of the multiplayer, or more specifically the co-op, or the friendships that she made with other players on release day, who were also creating characters at the same time, and who she ended up exploring the world with. See, that is the only thing that makes Fallout 76 good. And I suspect, although I can't confirm it because I'm not reading all 719 of the positive reviews of Fallout 76 on PS4, but from browsing the ones that I have looked at, it seems to be the general consensus of opinion that that is what makes Fallout 76 fun. Playing it together with friends, and mostly just laughing at the bugs while wearing silly hats. Laughing at the level 1 critters that will kill you regardless of your level, given long enough time, because it's impossible to kill them. Laughing at the sun rays that shine clear through mountains. The list goes on. Just type Fallout 76 bugs into YouTube search bar. Sit back and prepare to be amused for half an hour or so. Unless, of course, you know, you actually bought the game, in which case you'll probably cry for half an hour or so. Oh, hang on. I nearly forgot. There's another one. Rita actually brought this one to my attention. Apparently, the end game in Fallout 76, if the game can be said to actually have an end game, is raiding various different bunkers for nuclear launch codes. Yes, the idea is that you have to collect launch codes in order to launch a nuke into a neighbouring territory. The explosion spawns all kinds of nasty critters, and you all go in there mob-handed and farm them for loot drops, which apparently is completely underwhelming, but that's not really the issue here. The issue is to do with the launch codes. It turns out, you're not going to believe this, but I swear it's absolutely true. The launch codes aren't actually randomly generated. When you break into a bunker, this is something that apparently requires a full group to do, or at least a couple of players. But anyway, you bust into one of these bunkers, you fight your way down to whatever computer terminal contains the launch code in that bunker. You retrieve the launch code, and then you'd expect that bunker to then generate a new launch code for the next person who breaks into the bunker looking for the code. Because if it didn't do that, what's to stop somebody from going around these various different bunkers, collecting the codes, and then sticking them up on Reddit? I mean, that would be ridiculous, yeah? Because if that were the case, I mean, if that's how lazily Bethesda had coded this asset flip of a game, then somebody could just go onto Reddit, copy and paste a whole bunch of launch codes, and then log into the game and start firing nukes left, right, and yeah, that's exactly what they did. That is exactly what happened. I mean, really? Seriously? So what's the lesson here, kids? Can we add a new golden rule to the list of golden gaming rules in the 21st century, alongside don't give any money to Electronic Arts and never pre-order a game? Can we now add Bethesda to the list? I don't know if we need to be quite that harsh. I mean, everybody's entitled to make a mistake once. It all depends on how they deal with it. But then again, they have started going down that slippery slope, haven't they? I mean, Fallout 76... okay, it's not now, but it was a full-price AAA game title. And there were microtransactions in it as well. You know, if it looks like Electronic Arts, smells like Electronic Arts, and tastes like Electronic Arts, it may as well be Electronic Arts. Then again, this isn't the first time they've tried to pull this kind of shit, is it? Does everybody remember the mod station from Fallout 4? Where they were basically trying to sell you other people's mods? I don't know. You guys be the judge. All of this is leaving me with a bit of a problem though, because I'm taking a Christmas break starting on November the 12th. And I was looking forward to playing some good games. Well, clearly Fallout 76 isn't going to be one of them. So, what decent games are coming out on the PC this Christmas? Depressingly little. I don't know what the hell is going on. Oh, Jingles, try Battlefield 5. No, it's an Electronic Arts game, and I'm not putting money in the pocket of Satan. I admit I have been guilty of giving money to Electronic Arts in the past, but they used to do good games. The original Medal of Honor Allied Assault on PC was absolutely amazing. Some of the sequels and expansions for that weren't too bad until they just ran out of ideas and started churning out any old shit. And then of course there's Mass Effect, Mass Effect 2, and all of Mass Effect 3 by the last 15 minutes. Fantastic games. Lately, however, it's been very easy to not give money to Electronic Arts because their games have been dog shit. Star Wars Battlefront 2, Mass Effect Andromeda. Terrible games! You know, when a games publisher is pushing out pieces of shit like this, it's very easy to decide that's it. No more. I mean, aside from their evil business practices, the fact that they're producing games that are dog shit makes it very, very easy for you to take the moral high ground. But they do still have BioWare. And with the exception of Mass Effect Andromeda and the last 15 minutes of Mass Effect 3, BioWare have a pretty good record. I mean, we're talking about the people that did, well, aside from Mass Effect, Knights of the Old Republic, Baldur's Gate. I mean, they've been responsible for some of my favourite ever gaming moments. And they're threatening to produce another one. You looked at the previews of Anthem, coming out on console and PC. Okay, not in time for Christmas. Its proposed release date is the 22nd of February. But it looks pretty good. And it's been easy for me to say, never again am I giving money to Electronic Arts. Because at least for the last year and a half, they've produced nothing but dog shit. What happens when they produce a good game? Anthem looks like it might be one. Am I going to be able to stick to the moral high ground, or am I just going to give in and play it? And just not tell anybody? I like to think I'm made of sterner stuff, but I guess time will tell. I really hope Anthem is shit. I really do. And the sad thing is, I want it to be shit for personally selfish reasons. I mean, never mind everybody who works at BioWare and who depends on their job for a living. I want Anthem to be shit so I can not play it and claim that I was not playing it for moral reasons. Because I don't know what I'm going to do if it's good. And let's face it, it is BioWare. There's a better than even chance that it's actually probably going to be quite good. But then again, it's being published by Electronic Arts. So there's a 100% chance that you're going to have to remortgage your house in order to be able to buy the standard edition, and yet at the same time it's going to be riddled with microtransactions and loot boxes and entire sections of content that are locked behind Season Pass and Special Edition paywalls, because nobody does single-player games anymore. You know, games that you just buy and play and enjoy, and you can enjoy them without the publisher's hand being in your pocket the entire time you're playing. Oh wait, there is still one publisher and developer that does that, isn't there? Thank God for CD Projekt Red and The Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077. Seriously, it just can't come soon enough. Well, I'm going to leave you this week with a little thought that I had this week, and it's to do with, well, it's World of Warships, and it's to do with, I'm going to call them battle cruisers in World of Warships, although in a lot of cases they're not strictly battle cruisers. A battle cruiser was a mostly British idea, although a couple of other nations caught on as well, mostly Germany, not really many other people. We're talking about a ship here that has battleship guns but is still a cruiser. It doesn't have battleship armor. And the idea was that anything that could outrun it, it could outfight, because it had battleship guns, and anything that could outfight it, like a battleship, because it didn't have battleship armour, it could outrun. That was the idea behind the battlecruiser. And people have asked, do you ever think that you're going to see a dedicated battlecruiser line in World of Warships? In the British tech tree, for example, which would seem like the obvious choice. Although there's space in the German tech tree. for some of their battle cruisers as well. And it was while thinking along these lines this week that a thought occurred to me, and it's to do with, while they're not strictly speaking battle cruisers, there are a number of ships that have been introduced into World of Warships, which are being introduced into World of Warships, that have cruiser matchmaking, but have battleship guns. You could argue that it started with the Moskva. Then there was the Graf Spee, which is definitely not a battle cruiser, but is a cruiser with cruiser matchmaking, and it has battleship caliber guns. But then again, the Graf Spee is only tier 6, and it's not really that popular a ship. When you climb a few tiers up, however, you get ships like the Kronstadt, the Free XP, tier 9, definitely a cruiser, but it has battleship caliber guns. More recently we've had the introduction of the Stalingrad, which is definitely a cruiser, but has battleship caliber guns. And coming up soon we're going to see the US Navy's hat being thrown into the ring with the introduction of the USS Alaska, which the US Navy swears up and down is not a battle cruiser, but it is. It's a cruiser with battleship caliber guns. But the thing about all of these ships that I'm mentioning is they all have one thing in common. Regardless of the caliber of the guns, regardless of the amount of armour that the ships have, they all have cruiser matchmaking. Why is this an issue? Well, it isn't, but it could be. And if they keep introducing ships like this, without giving them their own matchmaking, it could be a fairly big problem. Because here's the thing. Cruiser matchmaking. So, Kronstadt, Alaska, Stalingrad, all have the same matchmaking as light cruisers like the Minotaur, the Worcester, the Neptune, or even heavy cruisers like the Zau, the Des Moines, which have slightly bigger guns, but they're nowhere near as big as the Kronstadt, the Alaska, the Stalingrad, or even the Moskva. And they're certainly not as well armoured as the Kronstadt, the Stalingrad, the Alaska, or the Moskva. And yet they all have the same matchmaking. So if they keep adding more ships like this, there are almost but not quite battleships, and yet still have the same matchmaking as cruisers like the Worcester and the Minotaur. It's not completely outside the realms of possibility to foresee the day when the random battle, or even, who knows, ranked battle matchmaker stacks one team full of Kronstadts, Stalingrads and Alaskas in the cruiser slots, while the other team has a load of Neptunes, Worcesters and Minotaurs, because all of these ships have exactly the same matchmaking rate. Now here's the question, just exactly how much of a problem is this likely to be? Because it's easy to just jump on board the hype train and start yelling, "Oh, World of Warships, yes, screwed up." Right now I don't really see this being much of an issue at all, because there are just not that many Stalingrads or Kronstadts, and there are no Alaskas out there at all, yet. But soon there will be, so there'll be more of these ships in the matchmaking pool. And even on those occasions where the matchmaker might theoretically do exactly this, stack one team full of what are effectively battle cruisers for the sake of argument, and the other team full of proper cruisers that don't have huge caliber guns, not quite battleship levels of armour, while at the same time having cruiser consumables like radar and defensive fire and cruiser matchmaking. Obviously a large part is going to come down to the individual skills of the players concerned, but there's no denying that one team is going to enjoy a hit point, armour, durability and firepower advantage over the other. Right now the chances of this happening are so small as to be utterly negligible. But while there aren't right now a huge bunch of Kronstadts and Stalingrads, for example, available in the matchmaking pool, the numbers aren't going down, and they're about to introduce the Alaska, so the numbers are only going to keep going up, particularly if they keep introducing more ships like this into the game. So while this is not a problem yet, it's not completely outside the bounds of possibility that at some point in the future, particularly if they keep introducing more ships like these, it may become a problem. So what's the solution? How can we nip this in the bud before it becomes a problem in the first place? Well, the obvious solution is to give them their own matchmaking. Don't give them the same matchmaking spread as regular light and heavy cruisers. Call them battle cruisers if you want. The name that you pick for them doesn't matter. Battle cruisers, as good a choice as any. But introduce a fifth class of ship into the game that specifically caters for these oversized cruisers with heavier than regular cruiser armor and bigger than regular cruiser guns. The problem, of course, is the transition period, because if you go ahead and do that now, if you're queuing up for a battle in one of these ships, you're not going to get into a game unless there are other people queuing up for battles in these kinds of ships. And at the moment, there just aren't enough people with these kinds of ships. So even assuming that this is likely to become a problem in the first place, which it isn't necessarily going to, but it might, the apparently obvious solution isn't quite as easy as you might have first thought. Now, I don't know what the proper solution for this is. I don't even know if there needs to be a proper solution. I don't 100% know whether this is in fact going to be a problem or not, but what I do know is I'm real glad I'm not a games developer. Because this is the kind of problem that they have to wrestle with on a daily basis. Everything they introduce into the games that we know and love is subject to scrutiny from hundreds of thousands of different people. Hundreds of thousands of different people, all waiting for the chance to point their finger and say, "We saw this coming. We warned you, but you didn't listen." Never mind the fact that we pointed our finger at something else 6 months ago and said this is going to be a disaster, and it never was, and actually turned out to be quite good. No. This time, we warned you, and you didn't listen. This is the kind of thing that game developers have to put up with all the time, and it's even worse because they have to put up with it and smile. They have to say, "We hear your concerns, and while we sympathise with your predicament, we're not at liberty to discuss future developments at this point, or we're still collecting data, or your opinion is valuable to us." You see, I don't have to do that. I mean, people disagree with me all the time. People tell me I'm wrong all the time. People tell me, this YouTube channel's dying all the time. And I can just say, go and take a flying fuck at a rolling donut if you don't like it. It's a big YouTube. Go and watch something else. You can't really do that if you're a game developer. Now they have to take the shit and say, tasty. Can I have some more, please? Now, yeah, okay, some of them definitely deserve it. Publishers like Electronic Arts, Warner Brothers, and more recently, game developers like Bethesda have all well and truly earned their place at the shut up, sit down and enjoy your shit sandwich table. But I talk to a surprising amount of game developers, and the overwhelming majority in my experience, in fact from personal experience, way back in the early 90s, I had a friend in the northeast of England who loved computer games, and he landed himself what he thought was going to be a dream job, working for a software games developer in the northeast of England. I probably shouldn't name him or the company that he was working for. It's almost certainly out of business by now, because they just didn't care. They had contractual obligations to meet, and they were just pushing rubbish out in order to meet deadlines. They really didn't care whether their games were any good or not. But companies like that were in the minority at the time, and I suspect probably still are, notwithstanding all of the asset flippers that shovel a metric arse ton of shit out onto Steam every month. But most proper software and games developers, they are actually trying to produce the best possible game that they can. And yeah, they don't always get it right, and we don't always agree with them, and sometimes we think their decisions are absolutely terrible. But what am I trying to say here? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because Christmas is coming up and I'm feeling uncharacteristically and unknomishly charitable at this special time of year. Maybe we should extend the season of goodwill to all men to games developers as well, even if it's just for a couple of weeks. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Except, not Bethesda. They had their chance, and they blew it. And on that bombshell, this is it for me, as far as Mingles with Jingles is concerned, for 2018. There will be a couple of more videos coming before I embark on my richly deserved Christmas break. I still have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be playing because, I don't know, maybe there's something good on the console, because there's bugger all on PC this Christmas. I'm sure I'll think of something, and whatever I end up playing, you know what I'm like when it comes to taking time off. I'll get bored, and there will almost certainly be a video, or perhaps even a live stream, covering whatever the hell it is I get around to playing during my Christmas break. But I'm going to have a good one. I hope you all have a good one too, regardless of whether you celebrate Christmas or not. And I hope you all tune in to the World of Warships Global channel this weekend on Saturday and Sunday to watch the Shipstorm 3 vs 3 World of Warships tournament, where I will be broadcasting from Prague along with Isolate and Flambas. And I'm sure Mr. Conway and Chrysantos will be popping their heads in at some point as well. In the meantime, as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.